So we should have now drawn up our frame and our base. Just going to look at a little bit of editing now, realistically, because if you remember on our frame itself, there might be, I think there is a discrepancy between the hole centres here on our frame, which is basically the fixed part. We can't really offset these much. It's a lot easier to change those hole centres on our base, so that's the decision I'm going to do. Again, if you are unsure or want to find out any measurements, that type of thing, you can actually use the little measuring tool here. So there's little tape measures, also scale, but tape measure is the easy one. So again, all we then do, if we select the circle, again, and then hover over, you'll see that it gives us the sort of distances in between each of these, all that type of thing. Again, you can actually move it around. So again, if you hover over from one side to the other, again, that's the idea of it doing centre to centre, so we know that the centre of that is 40 millimeters. Again, just click off it to come out of it, unselect it. Again, if you wanted to find out different measurements, or if we wanted to just check, so again, circle to circle. Again, if you hover over it, and then you can see the green one there gives us that, we know it's 70 millimeters vertical height. So we need to do a little bit of adjusting on our base. If we flick back and remind ourselves to our base, again, just to show you that it is different. Yeah, if I hover over it, again, we've got a measurement in between the centres. Let me just rotate that around. In between the centres of 42 mil. So we need to do a little bit of adjusting. I will just double check the come off that. So again, you can see to unselect, I just basically hover over. So again, go over to it, so you can see 75. So that's the same. Obviously, we'd find this out when we did the assembly that it wasn't lined up, but we might as well do it whilst it's here. So it's just quite a useful tool. Again, we could actually view it because we can actually act it. So at the moment, our sketch is hidden. So again, I'll just come off that. I can actually put our initial sketch so we can view it on like that. But we'll have a little look at a bit more detail around what it is and all that type of thing. So if you hover over it, you can see that I hover over everything on the feature tree. It basically highlights the sketches and the extrusions or the cuts that I might want to change. So I want to change the distance of these two holes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that visible. Again, it doesn't really matter that bit. Basically, right click and then edit. You'll see the dimensions then come back up. So that's the useful bit. So again, we need to change that dimension here, and we also need to change that dimension there. So to start off, just double clicking, change that to 20. Just going to change that to 40, and again, you'll see that updates everything on screen in sort of real time. Again, if you wanted to just have a quick look at it, there's a top view, you could do that. So again, we've just amended that. We don't need to do anything with that one. Again, all I need to do then is click confirm, and it will actually update the drawing. So hopefully when we check it now, you'll see that obviously the centres are now 40 millimeters. Again, that goes the same for, if I decide that my original sketch, that base sketch, again, I could right click, edit that. And again, it'll just go back to that one, so I could change that to 90 mil, change that to 124 mil, all that type of thing. Just by right clicking. Again, I can do exactly the same on the extrusion. So again, right click, edit. If I thought, I want to change that, I want to make it thicker, thinner, all that, it will just update it all in sort of real time, all that type of thing. So editing is quite simple, it's quite a good thing. Again, it's the sort of big benefit of CAD software that once I get into it, I can change anything without having to basically go about redrawing it. As long as you sort of follow the right procedures of how you actually draw your models and get into a good practice around how you go about drawing it. So hopefully we've got two parts that we know then are going to assemble quite nicely together, and we're going to get no interference. Again, we can always change it later on. I'll put another error in a bit later on just so you can see how I can do it as I'm actually assembling it as well. So that's just the basics of how I can amend and edit.